What'd you learn from your rookie year? Ups, downs, there was a lot to it. The season as a team and both individually. What did you take from that now that you've had some time to reflect on it?
Just to trust myself, trust myself, trust my coaching, trust my teammates. Guys are going to be where they're supposed to be. Coaches are going to put us in the best position, and just go out and make plays. Have confidence throughout the game, ups and downs. Guys catch balls. Guys are going to make plays. It's NFL. This is the best of the best. So you just have to keep your head and just continue to play.
Did you have a follow-up, Zach?
Was it hard a couple times last season when you had rough days to stay sure of yourself and stay consistent and keep going?
I wouldn't say it was hard for me to stay sure of myself, but I did have hard days. I mean, like everybody knows the Denver game, 5 penalties, that's hard on any player, because you feel like you're hurting the team. You're not helping the team win. You're actually hurting the team. Thankfully, thank God we were able to win that game. But, I knew that I hurt the team that game, But as far as me staying sure of myself, I mean, I know myself. I know my preparation. I know the kind of player that I am. So I've always kept, great confidence because I have confidence in, number one, demonstrated ability, and then two, in my work ethic.
All right, let's go Joel Erickson.
Do you feel like that confidence kind of paid off in the second half of the season when you kind of started to get your feet under you and play a lot better? Coaches really liked what you did the second half of the season.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely did. I feel like I was proud of myself because people kept coming to me after the Denver game. It was like, keep your head, and I was just telling them like, I'm good. I'm going to continue playing, and I was proud of the way that I continued to get better throughout the season because you're at a crossroad. That's a turning point, for a young player right there after having a really bad game or really bad games back to back, and then being able to continue to get better, and kind of silence the noise and to continue to get better and continue to push forward. I was proud of myself for that, and I was proud of how I finished the season.
Okay, George Bremer.
A lot of people will say that the biggest jump you make in your career is from your first year to your second year. Do you feel like that's a little bit more difficult this year because of the restrictions that have been this offseason, not being with your teammates, or do you feel like it's pretty much the way an offseason would normally go for you?
I feel like it's a bit different, but I don't feel like it's harder. I mean, I'm still training, I'm still running, we're still having our meetings, we're still watching film together. We're still having a lot of time for me. And the only thing we're missing is like a mini camp, and we're gonna get together here soon and throw together and stuff like that. So I feel like, I mean, I don't feel like it's a negative to the point where it would perform. I mean, and it would have a negative impact on my performance. I just feel like, it's just different. I feel like we're still training. I'm still running. I'm still training as a DB. I'm still lifting. I'm still doing everything I would have been doing, just minus the minicamp.
All right, Phil B.
Hey, Rock. Thank you for your time. I saw you on a Zoom call with students where you shared your life journey and your story, and you told them about how hard it was for you growing up and how you had to make right choices and learn from wrong ones. Anyway, I couldn't help but be impressed by it. I admit I was ignorant. I didn't realize all that you went into your life coming in. The question is, yeah, you're going to have a tough time as a rookie. Yeah, you're going to be tested. Yeah, maybe even doubt yourself. But how much do you fall back on, I've come too far and I'm not going to let anything beat me down, whether it's a penalty flag or getting beat by Michael Thomas or anything, Julio Jones, I'm not going to let any challenge or anything beat me down.
Definitely. I feel like that's definitely – I feel like, my past experiences make me who I am today. Going through, growing up tough, having struggles as just being me, as going through life, growing up in a tough environment, having struggles in school, struggling in college playing ball. I mean, struggling in wrestling. I mean, I never came in on top. I was always an underdog. I was always the guy that had to work twice as hard. So, I mean, you can't work that hard. You've invested too much to turn back. You see what I'm saying? Once you've invested so much, it's like I got to keep going forward. I got to get to the finish.
Quick follow. I thought it was rather telling how insightful and honest you were with these kids. You talked about your own mistakes. You talked about things that they have to watch out for. I mean, it really was impressive how you wanted to share with them what you'd learned.
I feel like, we have to. Because they look at us and they might think that, to make it to where we are, we had a perfect life, They have to understand that their mistakes aren't, final. You can make a mistake and bounce back from that mistake. They have to understand that. And I'm proof of that. So they have to see themselves in you to know that they can do what you do. So I just try to inspire the young kids, man, because they need it at a time like this. They really need it.
Thank you, Rock.
Thank
All
you.
right, Kevin Bowen.
Hey, Rock, thanks for taking time. What did you think of the Xavier Rhodes signing? I don't know how much you look up to other corners around the league, but is he a guy that you ever watched film on when you were in college or even last year?
Well, Coach Jonathan Gannon, he coached Xavier for many years, so I already knew they had the connection. Coach JG talked about him a lot last year. We watched some film of him together, actually. And I've known of Xavier for a long time. I watched him, be a Pro Bowl, be an All-Pro corner. I've watched him shut down Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, and top receivers in our league for a long time. So when he ended up in Indianapolis, I couldn't be anything but happy, to be able to compete with a guy like that and be able to learn from a guy, a veteran like that. So I was very, excited to get to play with him.
And then one follow-up. I remember talking to you after the Denver game, and you mentioned just kind of getting better with your hands was the biggest technique thing you were working on. As you look back at your rookie season, was that kind of the biggest technique item that you wanted to correct and fine-tune heading into year two?
I wouldn't say it was the biggest thing. As far as the penalties, I wanted to keep my hands down as far later in the down. But as far as, the biggest thing I worked on this offseason, it wasn't, keeping my hands. It was more so my feet. If you win early with your feet, you won't have the tendency to use your hands. A lot of times we use our hands when we panicking or we think we're in trouble, as a corner, when we think we're beat or whatever. But if you win early with your feet and use your hands early when it's legal, within the 5 yards, then you'll be in control of a route where you don't have to grab a guy. You won't even think that you have to grab a guy or penalize or foul a guy,
All right. Stephen Holder.
Hey, Rock. I'm going back to the beginning of last year. You pretty early in the season started playing a lot of snaps, and I'm wondering when you came in. Obviously, they drafted you pretty high, so I'm sure you thought you might play. But were you expecting so much playing time so quickly, and how ready for that were you? Because I know it's a blur out there. Can you just kind of talk about that?
I feel like the best teachers experience. I feel like they knew that they needed to get me out there so I could get my feet wet. And I was prepared for that. I was 100% prepared for that. Wherever I was drafted, I knew that after the combine, after the Senior Bowl, everything like that, wherever I got drafted, I was looking to get on the field and play as much as possible wherever I landed. And coming to the Colts, I knew we had good corners. I knew I had to compete in camp. And as I started to, rise up the depth chart, I looked forward to playing a lot and playing a lot early. And I did play a lot early. So I just want to use that, as a stepping stone for this next season to propel me deeper into my career.
Does that confidence from the coaches, does that mean a lot when you're a young player like that?
I feel like it does. It does. But as me, my confidence has to come from me. I have to believe in myself first and foremost. It doesn't matter. For me, I feel like it doesn't matter, like, if the coaches, you won't be out there if they didn't believe in you, first of all. You know what I'm saying? But I can't let that affect how I play. It's just, I have to believe in myself. I have to go out there and know I feel like I'm the best corner. I'm the best, player on the field or whatever. I have to have that confidence within myself. I can't let, coaches or, or fans or whatever. I have to keep it, that confidence has to come from myself.
All right, Andrew Walker.
Hey, Rock. You seem to gravitate really towards the physical nature of play. I think Matt Eberflus wants out of his corners pretty early, just in terms of tackling and all that. Can you explain why that's so important in this system for the corners to be willing tacklers and support the run game and all that? And is that something – I know that was in your background, in high school and college, but is that something that took a little bit of time to get used to at this level?
I feel like Coach Eberflus, he says, we'll be a good tackling defense when our corners tackle. And he preaches that day in and day out. Everybody, there's no house guest. Everybody has to tackle on our defense. So he made me understand that early. I remember in training camp, he was letting me know, listen, if you want to play for my defense, play in my defense, you're going to have to tackle. And I understood that. And I took it on. I took a challenge, face on. And I wanted to, be a good tackling corner. I want to be an even better tackling corner this year. And as far as my background, wrestling is a physical sport. I've always been known and labeled as a physical guy from high school to college. and now into the NFL. So I want to continue to get better at that because I know it'll help our defense.
All right, we'll go one more with Phil B.
Thank you, Chris. Rock, it's said that to play cornerback, you have to have short-term memory. But I've also talked to corners over the years who said it's human nature to remember, and you have to learn from your mistakes. There's a fine line to having short-term memory, but also remembering what happened and benefiting from it. How do you think your short-term memory ability is improved after rookie year, and how are you doing with that fine line?
Like you said, definitely a fine line. You have to, learn from your mistakes. But I feel like when you're out there, you have to be able to struggle play off. Each play has its own identity. Each play has its own identity. What happened on first down, you can't worry about it, come second down. You got to be each play has its own identity. But when you come back to the sideline and coach is showing you what's going on and things, you recognize, okay, now last time they got this formation, they ran this concept. Well, they've been running this, all game into the fourth quarter now. Coach is telling me, listen, watch out for this, watch out for that. So like you said, it's a fine line. While you're out there, you have to be able to, tap your shoulder and just, let that last play go. Whatever happened, good, bad, or indifferent. But, each play has its own identity.